biggest thing for you to improve on, stepping up and being a starter?
I think everything. Playing the run, being stout as the run. Because I'm not as big of a guy, so being stout as the run and just everything. Improving at a fast rate. I think I got a lot to prove. So.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the After Effect Podcast. I am your host, LeBron Stephan. Welcome to episode 21. We have a very, very, very special guest, Cleveland native Pierre Woods. Played 4 years at the University of Michigan, 2003. Second team All Big Ten. Went undrafted in 2006. Played for the Patriots for 5 years. I was part of that 2007 18-0 Patriot team that ultimately lost in the Super Bowl. Cleveland legend, Cleveland trailblazer, was one of the first guys from Glenville High School to go to a Big Ten school. As you can see, I was number 58 in college at the University of Iowa, and I picked that number because of Pierre. He was number 58 for the Patriots at the time. So super, uber excited to have him on. And I just sent him the link. So he should be jumping on at any time now, and we'll get after it.
Yo,
What's up, big bro?
what's going on, man?
Man, I can't call it. How you doing, bro?
I can't complain. What's going on with you, Brian?
Man, I can't call it. I appreciate you carving out some time to jump on with me.
Oh, man, there's no problem, man. I told you I would.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. So yeah, man, I call this the After Effect Podcast. We've been athletes for 20, 25 plus years, and I feel like we all have some type of after effect. So this is just a platform, for us to talk about, Cleveland culture and different things we went through during our athletic journey and basically our transition out of sports.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, man. So we can jump right in. We both Cleveland natives. Talk about the Cleveland culture, man. I know you. I think you. I'm 31, almost 32. I think you like 6 or 7 years older than me. So talk about growing up in the city. I grew up in the 90s. I would presume you probably grew up in later 80s,
80s.
later
Yeah.
80s, later 80s, early 90s.
Man.
Yeah.
I was born at 82.
Okay.
I was born
at
Cleveland,
yeah. Okay, I know. I was born in 89. So talk about some influences and mentors that you had just growing up in the city.
Early on, man, stayed on the west side, West 25th projects. My dad stayed on 93rd. My father was a huge influence for me. 93rd and White Avenue, whatever. And, just coming up, man, my father went into sports. My mom, she played, softball and stuff like that. But I had my oldest brother who would always, push me to do things. He passed away going to my senior year of high school, whatever. So, I dedicated my senior season to my brother.
Oh, wow. How did he pass away?
Man, he passed away from cancer, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that first scrimmage that we scrimmaged Shaker, and it was crazy. We played him in the playoffs. Man, I wanted to kill everybody on that field, man.
I already know. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it was fun though, man. It was fun. Yeah. It was a good scrimmage, and then we got a chance to play him in the playoffs that same year. My influences, man, like after my father passed away, was Mr. Payne, who was my junior high school basketball coach.
Okay.
Coach Jay was the high school basketball coach who also passed away in my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Guillen definitely, Coach Fish, Ian, Coach Hurd, Coach Priester, Coach Shorts, Coach Bobo. Like all the coaches that we had, man, even Coach Houston, man, who came late, and wanted to do it his way. And I was like, man, look, I've been here, man. So, I'm a leader. You ain't about to just tell me how to do this. I'm going to listen to you. But, we've been doing this pretty much, a long time, man. We're going to go out here. We're going to play hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I remember, man, I was probably
Coach Fox
who?
Can't forget Coach Fox, man.
Oh,
Coach Fox.
Oh yeah. Coach Fox was there with me, man. Yeah, he's definitely a pillar. I remember coming to a game, man. I think it was either your junior or senior year, but you was like the top athlete in the area, and I was probably only like 9. if you were 16, 17, yeah, I was probably only like 9 or 8. But I just remember as a little kid just being amazed, bro, just at how tall you was and your stature and you played you hoop too. So
Yeah.
I used to come to the hoop games too. And I used to always tell myself like that's gonna be me one day.
Up, man. You know what? I always say, man, I'm happy that I was able to inspire kids, man, and give them inspiration to do something. Because at one point in time, I mean, it was times where, like, when I was coming up and we stayed on miles, like, I didn't think that, I didn't value my life like that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that I would be influenced to younger guys and younger girls that was coming up in the neighborhood. But it's crazy. Like, now I go back in the neighborhood and there's still little kids that know who I am. And, like, they weren't even born, when I was playing. But everybody still talk about me, and it's like, it's a blessing, man. So just to have that Glenville tradition, man, and the people around the neighborhood and that community that still, talk about what we done when, when I was younger and everything like that. So, like, I never just, like, people be like, man, when you started this, I'm like, man, listen, it was people before me that, I looked up to, that I really didn't know that, I found out about and things like that. And if it wasn't for everybody on the team, I wouldn't be who I am. So, I always give my teammates credit, because without them, it would be no me.
Right. Man, that's definitely and for sure. Talk about like what went into your decision to like during the recruiting process to go to Michigan? What stood out to you at Michigan? And of course you was like a trailblazer. You were one of the first guys from Glenville High School to go like, to a Big Ten university. So what went into that decision during recruiting? Because I think I heard on a podcast that my alma mater, Iowa, offered you first, was the first school to offer you.
Yeah, man. So Iowa, shout out to Iowa, Phil Parker, man, Kurt Ferentz, man. I know it's been a lot going on with the weight strength conditioning coach down there, whatever.
Yeah.
I got to give them their shout outs, man, and Coach
Definitely.
Akers, for giving me my first scholarship and offering me my first Big Ten scholarship. And really making me understand that school was, my mom made me understand that school was important, but to get my grades up and to say that, I'm just not playing football to play football. I'm playing football to go to school and get an education, man. So, they offered me a scholarship first. And what it was we went down to camp. I never went to Michigan camp. I went up there on an unofficial visit, but I went to camp at Iowa. I went to Indiana. I went to a whole bunch of camps.
Okay.
But man, when we drove through Iowa, man, through all them cornfields, I was like, man, my mother car broke down. It's a wrap.
Yeah, that 8-hour drive.
Right. I said, it's a wrap, man, if her car breaks down or whatever. So I was like, man, that I appreciate the offer. But when I went to Michigan, being that we're from the inner city, and like Columbus is just like Cleveland, man, to me. And I read an article in Sports Illustrated that Robert Smith had said that he wanted to, go to class. And at the time, John Cooper was a head coach. And he was like, "You're not here for class. You're here for school, for football." So, even Lloyd, would do the same thing. He'll put up 2 fingers and he'll say football first with 2 fingers, and then put down one and say school. He'll say no. He'll be like school first with 2 fingers, and then put up 1 finger and say football second with 1 finger. So in reverse, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of what he was preaching and saying, and it was like, that's every college coach to me. You know what I'm saying? Period. I don't care who it is. Like, you want a kid to come to your school to play ball and to get education, but at first, I mean, and the whole thing is, they really want you to come there to play ball. They're not really worried about if you get kicked out of school or not.
Right.
It's a lot of guys got kicked out, and coaches wouldn't fight for them the same way they fought for them to get there. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that, I speak about, because it's BS to me, like the same way guy to get there is the same way you should fight for him to stay in. Now, if he's been on probation for his grades academically, maybe 2 times, then, hey, you messed up on your own there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but besides that, man, you should fight for the kid, because they know where we coming from. It's tough, it's rough. It's not like, once you go back, man, you become a ghost. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But when I went up to Michigan, man, it was peaceful. It was quiet, man. It was serenity. It was just like, man, it was like, wow, like this is what I need. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hear no gunshots. I ain't hear no people yelling. Not saying that at the games on Saturday, the kids don't party and everything like that, but I was going to be a part of that. So it wasn't no big thing.
Right.
But when it came down to picking a university like where I knew I felt comfortable at, I went on an unofficial visit up to Ann Arbor, and I was just like, man, this is it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And from the outside looking in, it looked like your transition was smooth. Obviously, you know, I'm an edge guy, pass rushing, tweener type dude. So, you know, in 2003, when you got 68 tackles, 13 and a half tackles for loss, 7 sacks, you know, second team All Big Ten, you was balling. I went to the Rose Bowl. I'm thinking like this dude, he on his way. You know what I mean? And then your last 2 years, it seemed like you got lesser and lesser playing time. So just kind of expound on that a little bit, because I experienced a lot of politics and, you know, and bullshit at Iowa as well. So I'm sure it was things like that going on there, but obviously you probably couldn't really talk about it, or, you know, you didn't want to be a distraction to the team or anything like that. That's why I never talked about it really either. So you just expound on like what happened those last 2 years after you was an All Big Ten player.
Man, so I'm gonna go and say this. My short-term memory sucks right now. My long-term memory's always been, you know, good. My short-term memory from playing ball, it sucks. But I remember that and me balling out, you know, having a good, you know, game and good year and all that. And after that year, honestly, you know, I was a redshirt sophomore. I think I should have left, because I went to my head coach and I was asking him, like, you know, man, all these agents keep calling me, man. I don't know nothing about it.
After that year, because you was draft eligible.
That year, yeah,
okay.
they calling me and everything. He's like, what are you talking about? You know, and I'm just like, man, I don't know. I'm coming to you. You always say you can come to, you know, the head coach. I can always come to you to talk to you about whatever. It was just personal.
Yeah.
And I did that. Yeah. So I believe Ted started to get recruited as well. Lloyd, you know, Coach Carr went to their house, to Coach Ginn's house. He said something to Lil Ted that rubbed Lil Ted the wrong way. If anybody know Lil Ted have always had a picture of Desmond Howard in the back of the end zone catching that ball against Notre Dame in his room. Yeah. He wanted to come to Michigan. Yeah. But whatever Lil Carr said to him, you know what I'm saying, turned him off, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? I listen, I wanted the guys to go to school.
Right, of course.
But all that happened. That next year, we moved to a 3-4. Now, in the 3-4, like I played in 3-4 in New England, if your whole defensive line is to the right and you're to the left, we had Chad Henne as a quarterback. He didn't check run. He still passed the ball. This is common sense. And this is what I told the coach. I said, it's common sense. Why would I drop when ain't nobody over here next to me? If the quarterback was, you know, an older quarterback, he would have checked, he'd have audible check run, and they'd have ran the ball. I mean, literally, from the center over, all the guys is to the right. I'm the only person to the doggone left. So I'm like, why would I, you know, drop and pass? Well, you just lost your starting position. That wasn't because that wasn't about I lost my starting position. Y'all wanted to pick with me because you were mad about whatever situation happened with Ted, and the fact that you knew that I was right. This is common sense. Why the fuck would I drop? And he can run the ball.
Exactly.
He can, you know, check audible. I said that makes no sense at all. I say that to say this. All of those things that they did to me, it was a gift and a curse, and I always say that. So by them not playing me and me being one of the best guys on special teams in the Big Ten, period, hands down, I made sure nobody was not going to run the ball back on me on special teams. So I took the same fuel and the anger that I had when I would be on the field on defense, if I got a chance to play defense, to special teams. It was guys that feared me. I mean, my whole thing is I'm 6'5", 250-some pounds, and I can run. Most guys can't block me. You know what I'm saying? And then they changed the rules to where you can't have a big wedge. So that's a plus for me. I got long arms. I know how to use my body and how to use my strength. And the other thing is with Michigan, they always wanted the 225 test was like the biggest thing, the bench press test. Man, I couldn't bench press 225 more than 16 times to save my life. I got long arms.
Yeah. You do got long arms.
But when I got on that field, you could not tell if I bench pressed 225, you know, 16 times or not. You know what I'm saying? That was a big thing. Oh, well, you're not getting strong enough. Well, I also turn my AC joints and my shoulders up every damn time too. You know what I'm saying? Going down there hitting people, hurting myself, everything like that. I got with cortisone shot one time, right? Never again would I get another cortisone shot after that. Like we played Wisconsin. I hit the fullback. I hit him so hard. You know, we'll play them every 2 years. I hit them so hard. He talked to a kid that was one of our equipment guys that he knew from Connecticut. He say, man, I'm so happy we gonna play off in the next 2 years. I body rock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, but I messed myself up. I thought I broke my collarbone. But it was an 18 joint. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, the defensive coordinator, man, my last 2 years, they barely spoke to me. The head coach barely spoke to me, man. It was crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. How did you deal with that mentally? Because for me, during my career, I was going through all the bullshit that I went through with the politics and everything. The mental piece for me was hard, man. It was hard getting through that shit. Like, you know what I mean? I wanted to like fuck somebody up for real. You know what I mean? And I'm
totally agree.
Yeah, and I'm sure on the mental side, it was probably harder for you because you had already balled out. You was already a big all Big Ten player, and then to go from that to not playing at all other than special teams, maybe getting a snap here and there. Like, what did that do to your mental, man? Because I know, like, how did you keep your head in the game?
Well, I kept my head in the game. I keep my heads in the books, man. And I think that was an important thing. Like, they used me for football, so I was definitely going to use it to get my education.
Yeah.
Like my last year, going into my last year, the 5th year, Lloyd told me he ain't want me back. I go in a meeting and I said, well, you promised my mother when he came up to Glenville, he promised my mother that I'll graduate from the University of Michigan. I said, had I known that before we went out to the Rose Bowl, I would have made sure I took enough credit hours to graduate. I said, well, Coach, the one thing you can do, you can lie to me, but you will never lie to my mother. You will never lie to my mother. That's anybody, you know what I'm saying? You can lie to me, you can lie to anybody else, but don't lie to my mother. So he was like, well, you're going to be on a demonstration team. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I said, okay, that's fine. So I went down there. I made Jake Long life hell, Chad Henney's life hell, Mike Hart's life hell. And then me out from being on a demonstration team. Now, mind you, going from starter to the demonstration team. I'm with,
that's crazy.
And mentally, it never broke me because you know why? I think I always praise Coach Jay, Coach Ginn, like Coach Ginn for always calling me out no matter what it was. My years at Glenville, just being on me, calling me, telling me to be on my teammates, shit that people nowadays couldn't even take. And I thank God for him to being like that. So mentally, him and Coach Payne, like Ian and Coach Jay and Fish, always being on me. Ace, you know what I'm saying? Like these gentlemen always was on me, man. So no matter what, mentally, they already broke me down to build me up. So anybody else could not break me down, no matter what they said or did. And I, you know what I'm saying? Without them, man, I don't know where I would have been. If I'd have been at St. Ed's or something with, a gang of white coaches that didn't break you down and build you up, I probably would have been lost. Because I remember Ray Smalls and Rob Rose calling me. They at Ohio State and they going through and they like, man, bro, man, what we got to do, man? I want to transfer. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm just like, man, listen, y'all picked that school, man.
Yeah.
You picked that school. I say, so man, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta tough it out.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do, man. Get your degree, man. Take care of your business, man. Tough it out. I say, man, listen, if it had been me, you see what I'm going through up here. I'm like, man, so you gotta just take care of your business, man. Don't worry about all the bull crap. And that's my big thing, guys. We want to transfer. Even my son, I got a son that transferred from Akron. He's at a JUCO down in Kansas. He's like, man, I don't like it here. You know what I'm saying? He said, I hate it here. And I'm like, I just text him like, man, what are you talking about? You hate it? I said, do you hate, being in school there? Bless you. Or do you hate, like the state or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one do you hate? You there now? You gotta stick with it.
Right.
Don't keep changing and talking about boom, all this other stuff, man. Listen, you have to stick with whatever decision that you make. You made a decision, but I wanted him to stick it out there. He left, but there's some things that you just can't do, man. So my biggest thing to any gentleman, anybody that's from Glenville that go to a school and say they want to leave and boom, man, our coaches prepared us for all that. Now, whether you wanted to do it or not, that's something totally different. Right. But,
absolutely,
they prepare you for that, man. You know what I'm saying? And if anything else, your parents prepared you for you. Prepare you for that.
Yeah, that most definitely, man. So, talk the 2006 NFL draft. I'm sure you knew things was up in the air. You probably knew you wasn't gonna get drafted. So just talk about that day, and then eventually signing as a free agent with the Patriots?
Man, 2006 draft, man, was crazy. So Cincinnati had came and worked us out, and at our pro day. So at our pro day, when I tell you I did 3 different position drills, and I did not drink any water. You know what I'm saying? I did D-line, went from D-line. We only had one tight end going, so I helped Tim Massaquoi with some of his routes.
Okay.
He would route, then I'll run a route, you know. So I was doing that, and then I went straight to linebacker drills. No water, just going.
Oh,
so,
man.
Cincinnati called
you
me.
damn near passed out.
No, I was good, man.
You was good?
I made sure I hydrated myself, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
Cincinnati called saying, well, we're going to take you in the 7th round. We're going to take you in the 7th round. So I'm thinking, like, I'm about to be in the natty. Like, woo, this is going to be cool, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They took a kid from Penn State who only played special teams. That was it. That's all he did was play special teams. But that was basically, I give you defense and special teams. So it goes on, and the draft is over, and I get phone calls. And the guy who was my defensive coordinator at the University of Michigan, Jim Herman, I'll say it out loud, he calls me. He says, Pierre, come to New York, man. I can get you in New York. You'll make the team on special teams. Boom, boom. I'm like, oh, that's what's up, coach. That's cool. Then he says, I said, well, how much you talking? So I called my agent, whatever. He say $2,500. I said, in New York? I say, no, I can't do that, coach. He's like, that's all I can get you. I can get you a sign-up bonus, $2,500. Now, he talking about I'll make sure you make the team and all that. Man, you don't know, coach, make sure you make the team. You make the team by doing what you need to do, not staying in that club. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't go. And before I hung up the phone with him the last time we had spoke, I said, well, coach, he was like, have I ever steered you wrong before? And I was like, coach, man, listen, I wouldn't be in this predicament right now. I would be drafted had you played me. I said, you can dick me once, you'll never dick me twice.
Right.
So went to New England, man. Had some great veterans, man, around me. Mike Vrabel, man, big bro. Teddy Bruschi, Larry Izzo, Don Davis. Them gentlemen, man, that I played with, Eric Alexander, man. Then we had got Adalius Thomas, man.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? Like all them dudes, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Roosevelt Cohen, big bro, man. Like I can't leave out Rosie.
Man, what was it like, man? What like I know that had to be a full circle moment for you just to have the opportunity to play with those great linebackers like that. Like and then I know Junior Seau, God bless the dead, Junior Seau came a couple years after that. And like you said, you had Mike Vrabel and just all these Teddy Bruschi, these Hall of Fame type linebackers, man.
Yeah, my first year, you know what I'm saying, I was with Rosie and Vraves and Teddy and who was the other inside line? Eric Alexander would play some because I forget somebody else that got hurt. But the next year we had got Junior, you know what I'm saying? He had came in. Man, when I tell you, like, it was just like, wow, man, like the experience.
Right.
I was like I was a 2-year rookie, man, in a sense, because they would draft a linebacker, but the dudes wouldn't make the team. They even had Chad Brown come in to push me. So they was like, man, yeah, we're gonna have Chad come in and push you. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. Like, and that was Bill, man, and the way he did things. People be like, well, this is games that the Patriots run, man. But at the end of the day, the way that they do things there, man, if you take care of your business, you will be there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they still, top rated, great dudes. Like me and Matt Patricia, that's like my best friend right now. You know what I'm saying? So the experience that I was around though, man, like that was. It was uncanny, man. Like you would never get that many years of experience, like with that many guys that played linebacker and, being in their back pocket and then guys helping. Like Rodney Harrison, man, taught me something that I didn't know nothing about defensive back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he'd leave out and he'd be like, Rook, hey, take my notes for me. And I'm like, man, I'm already taking 2 outside linebackers position, you know what I'm saying? I got the Jack and the Sam that I'm learning, which is like they mirror each other, but it's different calls and formations that I have to go through. And he was like, man, take my notes for me. So he left the meeting room for like 30 minutes, come back like, man, you got my notes? And I'm like, no. So he get it from James Sanders. He notes and everything. So the next day he said, take my notes for me. So literally he taught me how to play safety in a 3-4 defense at the outside linebacker position.
Wow.
Like, that's how much they would, put on you.
Yeah.
No. And it was like, man, it was a blessing, man, because I didn't know that.
You knew more about the defense.
just knew more about the defense. So, you know what I'm saying, even the middle linebacker position, sometimes when guys, you know, the older gentlemen didn't want to practice, you know, the older players, you know, you may have to go to middle linebacker. Now, I ain't no middle linebacker, but you got to know them calls.
Right.
You know?
You gotta, yeah.
So you had to know every call. You got to be on top of it. Plus, you got to do special teams, man. So, man, I all them guys, man, I appreciate, man, all of them. You know, like
that's
you said,
super dope.
Yeah, God, you know, bless the dead, man. Junior Seau, big bro, man, like that. He's coming early in the morning, man. I'm talking about we being there. I'll be watching film with that dude, man. Super early.
Yeah. What like what? How would you describe Bill Belichick as a coach? Because obviously, it's that I think it's like a mystique to him. Everybody want to know, you know, what kind of guy he was and stuff like that. But obviously, it's different when you're a player and you played for him, under him for 5 years. So, like, how would you describe him? Because you know you was with him for 5 years.
Genius. He is a genius at best, man. At what he does. He's going to study. Like during training camp, I don't think he ever went home. Besides, if his girlfriend Linda would say, you know, let's go somewhere. Like that's how we got to camp. Linda had twins. I had twins. So I would go to Linda and say, Linda, you know, we need a break. And that helped us. But man, nobody that works harder, man, you know what I'm saying, than that guy, Matt Patricia as well. All those coaches, man, like Dante Scarnecchia was like 60-something, 70-some years old, putting in hella hours, man. Yeah. Like they're in that building because they want a profession. Now, yeah, it's hard for it to be perfect, but, you know, at the end of the day, man, what Bill does for everyone and how he does everyone is like, it's crazy, but he's a genius at what he does, man. Like, and if you listen to him, you do what you're supposed to do, man, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna make it. Okay. You're gonna go far. You know what I'm saying? Because it just is the way he is. Yeah. You want to team first, do your job. You know what I'm saying? Be attentive, ignore the noise. Like those are things that he put on the door after 2006 and 2007 when we went in, and he was like, man, listen, we do these things here, we'll always be on top. Will always be on top. So, you know, that's something that you know, to this day, man, I can show people and like they be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? He's a real good dude, man. He's solid, man. That's
what's up. Did him, because I feel like it was always a lot of speculation between like him and Tom Brady's relationship. And I know, you know, Brady's still playing and, you know, he's with the Bucs now, but in your experience, did you ever like feel like or ever see any times where it could appear that they didn't get along, or did they have a good working relationship?
Man, it was great. You know what I'm saying? Good, but great. You know what I'm saying? I personally I looked at it like this with them. Bill and Tom, no one man is bigger than the team. Of course, Tom was the man because he's a quarterback. He's won Super Bowls, MVPs, all that, right? But everybody got the humble pie, even Tom. He threw an interception in practice. He heard about it. He got cursed out just like anybody else would get cursed out. You know what I'm saying? It did make a difference. Everybody got it, from the low man to the high man on the totem pole. Everybody got that humble pie. And that's one thing that I love about Belichick. And then he's going to be honest with you, man. Some people go, he's lied. He did not, man. Listen, that dude is going to tell you how he feel. He going to let you know as a player what he feel that you should do. And if you don't do it, he going to let you know. If they make a call on defense or on offense and you mess up, then they definitely he gonna let you know about it. You come to the sideline, he gonna be like, what happened on that play? The best thing you can say is, I don't know, coach. You say anything else, he writes it down, and then when film study come and you in that full team meeting room, he gonna let you know this.
He gonna come back to it.
What? He gonna call you out on it. I'm telling you from personal experience, bro. He gonna call you out on it, and then after that, you gonna be like, damn, you gonna feel so little. You told me this, and this is what happened. So you did not know what was going on.
Right.
It be going 1,000 miles per hour, bro. You got to make sure that you just, you know what I'm saying, stay focused.
Right. I already know. Yeah, man. So talk about the 2007 season, man. Y'all go 16-0 for the first time in NFL history, and then you make it to 18-0. You make it to the Super Bowl. You winning the Super Bowl for most of the game. And then David Tyree has that insane catch in the Super Bowl. Talk about the seasons just in general, going week to week, playing with arguably one of the best teams ever. Like you literally on the team with Randy Moss and Tom Brady. And plus, I'm not sure if you and Brady had some kind of relationship because both of you all were Michigan alumni. But just give me some details on like what stood out that season.
Man, what stood out that season was we practiced 13 weeks straight with pads on.
Y'all didn't have a bye. Oh, y'all bye week was early.
We had a bye week. I believe it was early. I don't remember like when our bye week was, but regardless, we practiced with pads on even during the bye week. We had pads, and we
13 weeks.
13 weeks straight with pads on.
Oh,
and
man.
This was his logic. I don't want any fucking letdown, fellas. I don't want no letdown. He's like, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Now, this is what he's saying preseason. There's no light in the tunnel. So preseason seems like forever. But then it'd be the same thing when we get in the season. We like, what the hell wrong? Like, I ain't saying nothing, but it's the older veterans,
Yeah.
Junior, buddy, you got to throw us a bone, buddy. We need a break. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Take these pads off. Well,
right.
I'm going to tell you guys this. We're going to put them damn shells on. But if you have any fucking letdown, you will never see the fucking light of day again. Bro, when I tell you, we was like, what the? Could not.
Oh, hello?
We were all of us so in tune together, man. Like the way we did that whole Philly and Brian Westbrook was their running back. He went back for punt. Man, I got bent all up underneath him and everything like that on the punt. It was the last punt, man. We had to stop him, whatever. We win that game. Philly played us the hardest that year. Philly did. Giants played us hard in the last game.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I'll never forget what Michael Strahan said to me. He walked up to me with that big-ass gap and gonna say, hey, young fella, hey, we'll see y'all in the Super Bowl.
Oh, he told you.
That motherfucker told me that. Because Antonio Pierce, after the game, Antonio Pierce ran off the field because he didn't want to shake none of our hand. He just took off. He jetted. If anybody see it, that last game, week 16, Antonio Pierce run off the field. He didn't want to say nothing. He, you know what I'm saying? He like, man, fuck that. I don't want to talk to you motherfuckers. Y'all, he felt like we cheated.
Yeah.
Strahan walked up to me, hit me on, hey, young fella, we'll see y'all in the Super Bowl and win in the locker room. Bruh, that shit was crazy as fuck. When they came to Arizona and I seen it, he said, I told you. Didn't I tell you?
Right. That's crazy.
Up into the Super Bowl, man, everything was fine in Arizona, man. And then for some odd reason, whatever happened, man, they put us in a hotel, not our hotel we were staying in when we was down there in the beginning, but, the game night hotel.
Mm-hmm.
The food was horrible. Everything was off. Ronnie Harrison was, he was hot. Like a lot of the other veterans, they was like, man, it's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
The night before the Super Bowl?
Night before the Super Bowl, we went to this hotel, man. It was terrible. It was terrible,
like,
man.
On some, like, they wanted y'all to not, you ain't get good food. They wanted to fuck with y'all as much as they could.
They didn't want to fuck. It was just the fact, man, we should have just stayed in the same hotel we was in.
Okay.
We should have stayed in the hotel we was at, you know what I'm saying, in Scottsdale, I believe. I think we was in Scottsdale or one of them damn places. Yeah. But we should have stayed on in that hotel with that golf resort, man, because, bro, we went to that other hotel and it was like the food was horrible. Like we was calling our wives like, man, hey, come and bring us some food.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad, you know what I'm saying? Then the meetings, and it was just like something was just off.
Yeah.
We get to the game though. Even me with that fumble recovery, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should have had that ball, motherfucker, grab my nuts, man. But, hey.
Yeah. Was that like a surreal feeling? Like obviously,
it was,
us growing up, that's what you want to do is play in the Super Bowl. And now you playing in the Super Bowl.
It's so crazy because, like, I've always, the reason why, I started playing football because of Jerry Rice. Mm-hmm. I was a huge Jerry Rice fan and everything like that. And what was crazy, right before the Super Bowl, Ronnie Lott, Steve Young, and Jerry Rice was right there on the sideline, our sideline.
Wow.
They were on our sideline. So I shake all three of their hands. Man, mind you, I was a huge still is a huge San Francisco fan because of Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Any team he went to, I was a fan of. It's like Shaq. If Shaquille O'Neal played somewhere, I was a fan of that team just because of Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to meet Jerry Rice, and I'm like, wow, man, like this is like meeting Michael Jordan, fool. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Feel me? It's the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? But then I'm playing with two GOATs,
Right.
Tom and Randy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
People be talking about he was this. He was one of the best teammates you'll ever be around. Hands down. One the genuine guy, down to earth, cool as shit.
You talking about Tom or Randy?
Both, Randy and Tom. You know what I'm saying? You know, Brady took care of me so well, man. Like especially when he was with Nike, like he took care of me so well, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's always been cool. Like anybody that know me, like, you know what I'm saying, my nickname, my family, they call me Pep.
Yeah.
So, you know, Brady would call me Pep, you know, Mike Vrabel, you know what I'm saying, Teddy Bruschi, certain guys call me Pep, but Pepper Johnson was there and they called him Pep too. So he was like, you can't be Pep if my name Pep. But your name Pepper. My name Peppy. He like, no, it's too close, motherfucker. It's too close. So you can be Pep. You little P or you Pierre. There ain't no Pep. So man, it was weird like that, man. But
was it any other Michigan guys on that team, or was it just you and Brady? You and Tom Brady?
It was Brady and then Sean.
Sean Crable for a while.
Vrabel came,
Okay.
Sean Crable came, and then we got Carson Butler, who was they signed him to the practice squad. He was up there for a little bit.
Okay.
And then remember Angelo had came. You know, Angelo from Cincinnati came. That Angelo Craig, he came from the place in Glenville too. He was up there for a minute. So you know what I'm saying. Who else? Matt Gutierrez, but he had transferred to Idaho State.
Mm-hmm.
He had last year. He went to Idaho State, but man,
that's dope.
Those
That's
guys
dope.
came, man. Yeah, it was slick, man. It was a blessing,
so like give me some details about like y'all essentially winning the Super Bowl, the whole game, and then David Tyree make that like insanely crazy catch over Rodney Harrison to get in field goal range, and then ultimately y'all end up losing.
So if you watch that play when Eli was scrambling around, right? What was crazy was some of the previous plays before that, like a couple plays, maybe I don't know, in the first half or whatever. It was in the game though. During that game, they did the same thing, and somebody had grabbed Eli's jersey, and the refs blew him down.
Mm-hmm.
They blew the whistle that he was down. It was a sack.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened. We had great pass rush. Adalius Thomas had him, and I think Ty Warren had him. Somebody had him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It looked like he was about to. It looked like he was sacked.
It was but they stopped. They stopped because the last time we had grabbed him, they blew the whistle.
Okay.
They let the shit go, and then he pulled. You know what I'm saying? He runs around, and they let him. You know what I'm saying? They let him throw the ball. So he throw the ball, and it was just like, I think that's why Rodney was surprised. You know what I'm saying? And then David Tyree just lucked the fuck up.
Yeah. That was definitely a lucky catch.
Man, lucked up like a mug, and it was like, damn, man. But that, I mean, you know, they deserve to win. They won the damn game. You know, I was salty. You know.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
But at the end of the day, man, hey, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. Yeah. And you know, it happened.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I mean, if people watch that game, I'm telling you, man, we had him before, and they grabbed his jersey and they blew the whistle, and they considered it a sack. And then the next time it happened, it was the same thing, and the damn dude did not even he didn't blow the whistle, man. So it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. I can only imagine. And then you gotta deal with that loss. You gotta walk off the field with the confetti falling and just all those kinds of things.
And like it was, the worst was looking at Strahan's face, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because he told you they was gonna be there.
Yeah, but they had a great game plan, man. They used 3 defensive ends, you know what I'm saying, the whole entire game, basically.
Oh, yeah. They had Justin Tucker on the inside, right?
Yeah, they had
Justin Tucker on the inside and Yumi on the other side.
Yumi and Strahan, and then they would sub out their D tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And and they also like moved their defensive ends around, you know what I'm saying, the ones that were playing. So
Yeah.
they had a great scheme that they was doing, man, to get great pass rush, man, to make sure the time they had great, you know, a whole bunch of time. But I think if they'd had them 2 D tackles and then just 2 defensive ends, it'd have been a different story. But, you know, things happen, man.
Yeah, definitely. Man, talk about the next year, November 13th, 2008. That's your first start in the NFL. Obviously, I mean, you had already made a couple teams, and obviously, you know, you was a part of a legendary team. You played in the Super Bowl, but actually making your first start on November 13th, 2008, and you actually played well with 9 tackles. What did that feel like?
Man, it felt unreal, man. To get a start as an undrafted, you know, guy from out of the University of Michigan, from Cleveland, Ohio, man, to be at that level and be able to play and you know, on a winning organization, you know what I'm saying, was like wow. But it was like that year we started getting a lot of injuries. The guys started getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? But not only being a starter, but still having to play special teams, man, like and taking pride in what you was doing. And like I'm gonna tell you, like it'd be a lot of pressure put on you, man. Like them guys be having a lot of pressure put on them. Like the way it was, like when I was playing and the way it was before then, like, you know what I'm saying, for guys that practice was crazy.
Yeah.
Now, like, you know, and you had to take care of your body. You had to make sure that you was cool. So when I see guys injured now in the way that they practice, they barely wear pads.
Right.
I be, damn, like how y'all be getting injured, man? How y'all messed up out here and y'all barely, you know what I'm saying, have to do anything like
during the week.
But man,
Yeah.
that 2008 season though, me being against starts and everything, I think I broke my jaw that same year too. It was crazy, man. It was a blessing though. Plus that was the first year that they had started doing. I believe they started doing the breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, in October.
You know, in October, and my mom had breast cancer, man. So it meant something. It was that much more special to me, man. You know what I'm saying? The fact that my mother had breast cancer, God rest her soul now, and you know,
definitely.
things like that, you know.
Yeah. That's dope. I remember I watched the whole game, and I was I was in college at the time, and I was just super happy for you. I mean, you know, when I got to college, I actually chose number 58 because that was your number at the Patriots at the time. So
I appreciate it, man. You learn something new every day, man. And that's what's up, man. That's big, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, man. So man, talk about like your transition out of sports. Like I know you played 5 years with the Patriots and then a little while with the Bills. But what I've always felt for years now that was minimized was that transition out. Like we do a sport or sports, we're athletes for 20 plus years, and then there's a day that comes where someone tells you like, hey, this is it, and so now you have to figure out what you're going to do next. So talk about like your transition. Like, was it hard? Did you have any depressed moments? Did you know exactly what you were going to do?
No, I didn't know what I was going to do, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that was the turning point for me, like not knowing what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. I wish when I was playing though that I would have did what I did after I was done, which was got my CDLs, and invested in myself and really did more things like that. Me playing though, to me, I helped more people. And I'll say this: I spent more money. I gave more money away to other folks than spending it on myself. You know what I'm saying? Or just you know, and I saved a lot, but I got a divorce and things like that. So after football, man, it's like damn, like you go through a state of depression because
I'm telling you,
because you want to see that's something that you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? You've been in organized the whole time. It's like an organization, like you know your routine. You know what I'm saying? You have a routine every day that you know that you're gonna have to do. So once you got to get out of the routine. You got to change it up. You got to make sure that you know what you're doing and in a business world. You know what I'm saying? And they'll say, okay, we're gonna help you with this progress and with the next thing that's gonna help you with your life and your livelihood, but man, once you done, man, like, your degree, whatever it is, I had general studies and minor African American studies from a video. I knew I always wanted to do sports commentating, So I reached out like my last 2 years in the league to what's his name? Seth Markham or something like that, who was the ESPN director on in Connecticut. And all I wanted to do was an internship. He didn't have to pay me. I was going to use my own money to drive down back and forth just to do an internship down in Connecticut. Happened. So like, once I got done, man, I had to transition. I went to truck driving school, got my CDLs, and then I started working construction. And people was like, man, why you working? Why you doing this? They had like, you're undrafted rookie, you making millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For the guys that do get drafted and they're drafted in the first, second, third round, them the guys that, they make decent money, especially at that time before they change the CBA. But besides that, undrafted, man, you know what I'm saying? You just got to make sure that you save as much as you possibly can.
Exactly.
And hope for the good.
Right.
So I say that's about it, man. But
it
was kind of tough. It was tough, man, at first, but everything cool now.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you hit all those points, man, because I think guys just be getting it mixed up, or they get it messed up, that thinking that athletes is like it's just an easy transition. Like even if you was a person like you who actually like played for years, like and had a solid NFL career, it's still tough figuring out that next step, especially when whatever your respective sport, whatever you're doing professionally, is essentially over with.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I mean, a lot of people, don't know what to do with the transition and how to do it. Like, I remember there's a guy named Paul Oliver, man. He played for San Diego Chargers back in the day. He went to Georgia. He came out early because of he went to supplemental draft, whatever. And I don't know what happened with Paul, man, but he was a cool kid. He came up to Michigan on a recruiting visit, and just so happened, guy was just he killed himself or whatever. He committed suicide or something like that. I don't know the full story, but he was a cool dude, man. And like that's something that a lot of guys, once they done with football, man, they get in a lot of trouble. They do different things because they don't know what they want to do with their life, man. So
right.
You can get into coaching, that's a plus. If not, man, find something that that's your interest and that you good at, like you doing with your podcast, man, and do that and just roll with it, and so that if it's going to benefit you, man, and make you feel good, then kudos, you feel me?
Exactly. And that's and as I've gotten older, that's what I've realized the most is just just doing stuff that makes you happy and it makes you feel good.
And so, that's it, man. Dude, you got to find something to make you happy and some people that make you happy. Like for me, my kids, man, my children make me happy, man. They my blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and my family, the rest of my family members and things like that, man. So I always, give them praise, man. Thank God for my kids and my family. And also the kids in the inner city, man, being able to go back and talk to them, man, and just see them, man. But it hurts to see that young kids keep getting killed in our city.
Yeah, like, it's still heavy, man. It's still heavy in the city.
Yeah, man. So we just lost another one, man, like not too long ago, man. So I just, man, prayers to his family and his mom, his dad, and stuff like that, man. That's what's hurtful,
Yeah, definitely, man. I had Ted on a couple episodes ago, and he was, he actually spent a lot of time talking about that. Just us trying to kind of collaborate and come together and figuring out how we could do something to kind of pour it back into the youth, because I mean, obviously, when you go down the list, starting with you and going all the way down the list, all the way to what 2017, 2016. I mean, all those guys that played, at big time universities and played in the league and just did all these different things. If we can figure out a way to, try to push the culture forward and make sure the next generation knows and understands that, one, they don't have to succumb to anything bad that's going on in the city, but also kind of to try to prepare for life after football.
Yeah, but that's why I always tell guys, man, everybody say, well, you was first, you was this, you was that. I just say, man, I'm part of the chain, man. So I'm just a link to the chain. We only as strong as our weakest link. So in that essence, is as long as we can get the young man and the young women in our neighborhoods, man, to go on and start listening and paying attention to what's going on, and everybody stop thinking that, I got to do this or I got to be that way and I got to, follow this crowd, be a leader.
Right.
That's the best thing we can do.
Right.
If we got more leaders, then it's less followers, and you ain't gonna follow to do nothing dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Definitely, man. Definitely. And I know that we'll do a good job to figure that out. I wanted to transition to just a quick segment I like to call the Coach's Corner. From what you can remember, name the best piece of advice a coach has ever given you. And obviously, you've been coached by arguably one of the best coaches to ever coach in the NFL. So what's the best advice any coach on any level has ever given you?
And I Coach Ginn, one, what I'm saying? His thing was always, show up and show out. And then, Belichick with just because you made this fucking team doesn't mean that you can stay on this fucking team. So in essence, you on this team, but you still got a lot of work to do. And ain't no light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
I respect the crap out of that though.
Right.
I respect it because it just makes you understand that nothing is given, man. Everything is earned. Right.
That's, man. And like you said, you got to respect that because it's just real and authentic. Like it's no pussyfooting. It's no cutting corners. It's right in your face.
It's straightforward, man. And that's something that I definitely appreciate, man. The other thing is 2 college coaches, man. I know one was your head coach, but another one is Jim Tressel, man. Those coaches, when I made it, as an undrafted rookie out of the University of Michigan, and I played against these guys, then played for them, they both wrote me letters, man. Telling me congratulations on making the Patriots roster and things like that.
Oh, wow.
I always wanted to shout them out, man, and let them know that was really huge, man. I appreciate Jim Tressel and Kirk Ferentz for doing that, man.
That's dope.
It's some coaches that, when I played for, they ain't even do that. So, I appreciate the gentleman, man. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm glad you expounded on that, man. That's dope. I got recruited by Tressel. He came to the house, but ultimately they never ended up offering me. But he seemed like a real solid dude. And for the most part, I would say Kirk Ferentz was solid too during my career. Me and him never had any spats or, I don't think we never had any disagreements. But like you said earlier, some things have come out about the program regarding the strength and conditioning coach. And honestly, me and Chris Doyle never had any issues. I think we probably had a good relationship because he liked the way I worked. He liked the way I worked in the weight room. And he also liked the way I worked in practice. But it still just messed up to see, it was 50 plus guys that came out with stories about, just all these different racial biases and stuff like that. So it was definitely a messed up thing.
Right. Oh man, it's messed up everywhere, man. It's, right now what's going on in this culture in the United States of America, man, is we saying let's stick together, but then of course in our neighborhoods, it's still
right. We're not exactly in our neighborhoods. We're not sticking together.
It's us on us, man. I don't even like saying the black on black or nothing like that because I think that's just SBS, man. But it's us on us. And until we are ready to change the us on us situation and stigma, we're gonna be in the same situation. We're gonna stay being here.
Exactly.
It's crazy because I ain't from out way, down on 55th and stuff like that. But my boy Walt, man, I always talk to him when I go to Cleveland. If I do, with my sisters and stuff like that, I'll holler at him, go talk to the kids down there, and just to give them some inspiration, man. Like, hey, man, I made it out from all that. I'm from the projects as well, but
right,
I'm not from the South projects. But at the end of the day, I made it out of my situation, man. So, I grew up on, peanut butter jelly bologna sandwiches,
exactly. Ramen noodles.
Yeah, noodles. The free lunches at the centers,
Mm-hmm.
Had roaches and rats in the house and stuff like that, man. So just because it looks dim and bleak right now, don't mean that, your situation can't change if you put your mind to it and you work hard for what you believe in and do the things you need to do because, hey, man, if there's a way and there's a will, there's a way out. You know what I'm saying? So you just
always.
gotta take care of your business.
Always, man. So, last question. Like I said earlier, I call this podcast the After Effect podcast. What would you say is your after effect? What would you say is Pierre Woods' after effect from your entire athletic career? Obviously, we've experienced wins, losses, injuries, pain, sorrow. Just a lot of mixed emotions during our careers. So, what were some lessons that you learned during your career that you could take with you and instill in your kids, and some things that, some values that you hold close?
First, man, is to always be humble. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot at first. So always be humble. Remember where you come from. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Represent not just yourself, but your community up to the utmost all the time, no matter where you at.
Mm-hmm.
And just love people, man. Love
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think that's huge right there. You know what I'm saying? To love people, no matter where they from, their background, ethnicity, race, whatever. Love people, man, because if you can do that, then this world will be a better place. If we all can do that, it'll be a better place. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's where I go with it. You know what I'm saying? I love when the kids always say, I'll be like, man, I love you. And the first thing they look at you when you say that, especially when you say that to young boys that ain't got their daddies in the house, they be like, man, you a homo, man. You like a, you know what I'm saying? You some type of pedophile. Nah, man, listen, it's okay to tell another man that you love him, man. It's all right.
Right.
It's cool. That mean that you know where you at in your life, but you need to get that young man, or, you know what I'm saying, they need to get there in their life. Because without it, you know what I'm saying, no love, that's how you feel. Your heart get built up with anger and hate and animosity towards other people, man. And the other thing my dad always told me that I say to him is that the street has been here before you were born. It's going to be after you're dead and gone. Are you willing to lose your life over a street that you don't even own?
Right. That's fact. That's true.
Especially
coming from Cleveland.
Yeah, but this is all over though.
All over. Yeah, in any inner city.
Yeah, so you willing to lose your life for a street that you don't even own,
or
a house that you don't own? You know, it's not worth it. So just love, man. Everybody love one another, man. Let's look out for one another, take care of each other, man, and let's live life, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man. You know it.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man. So before we disconnect, I feel like we're more than athletes, and I love that slogan. So I just want to hear your take on a couple current events, man. Who you got winning the NBA championship this year?
The Lakers, all day.
Oh, you know that the Lake Show. You know, I wanted to ask you, man, because I've been a fan of LeBron James since like 1999. When I found out about him, I think I was in the 5th grade. He was in the 9th. He was a freshman at St. Vincent St. Mary. Did y'all ever? Because you came out of Glenville in 2000 or 2001. Did y'all ever play St. Vincent St. Mary in basketball?
I wanted to play St. Vincent St. Mary so bad. We wanted to lose. We was gonna lose 2 games, go down to Akron, which we had to pay them to go down there, and we never played each other. So I played on the Cleveland Tower Prospects for a hot second. LeBron played on our younger team.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, like in the Cleveland, you know, he loved the Glenville cats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because of all that. But anytime he see me, man, I don't know what it is, man. LeBron get behind his bodyguards and he'll put his hat down. You know how he wears his hat?
Yeah.
He'll put it down like he don't even see me. And like, man, I'm dead serious, man. It's crazy, man.
But he know who you is though.
He gotta know who I am. You know, everybody talk about me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just he don't mess with me. So I just, you know what I'm saying, I'm a huge fan of his too, man. You know what I'm saying? The things that he's doing. Like, man, keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? I want you to win. I want you to, you know, have greatness and things like that, man. But
definitely.
LeBron, don't fuck with me, Brian. You feel me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, though.
And me and Rich, cool. Anytime I see Rich, man, there's always love, man.
All love, yeah.
Anybody, like, I don't know all his other peoples or whatever, but, you know, even Seau, like, you know what I'm saying? He know who I am. Like, he cool.
Yeah. Because Seau played football too. He went to Ohio State.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. What's the other big man they had? Travis. He cool.
Oh yeah. Romeo Travis.
Yeah. But Brian don't. Yeah, I don't know what it is. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
you never.
He cool with Michi and them, but they be like, man, he cool, man. He got like, nah, that dude do not fuck with me, bro. Like for real.
Yeah. I be saying he rock with Michi heavy. Like his son call him Uncle Brown and all that.
Yeah. And them my dudes, man. We
Yeah.
grew up like around the corner from them on Miles and everything. So, you know, I just be like, hey, man, I don't worry about it, man. I mean, I
Oh
want
yeah,
to
definitely.
keep doing what you're doing, keep winning, man.
Right. I think they'll get it done in a couple weeks. So what you think about Deion Sanders coaching at HBCU at Jackson State?
I think that's a blessing. And if he's not the first guy though. Tyrone Wheatley's up at Morgan State in
Oh,
Baltimore.
Okay.
And he's not getting that same plug and all that. He went to go get some real coaches, you know, like Deion making big waves because he's calling he got Gerard, what's his name? No. Warren
Sapp, yeah.
T.O. Jimmy Smith wanted to jump in, you know what I'm saying, because he went to
Okay.
Jackson State, which is cool, man, you know what I'm saying? All that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I want him to have nothing but success.
Yeah.
Wish him but success, man. But you know what I'm saying? I think at the same time they need to they need to give my man Tyrone Wheatley some love too up in Morgan State. You know what I'm saying?
How long has he been at Morgan State?
This is going on his third year, I believe.
Okay.
Third year.
And then I know he was cold. He was an animal at Michigan. How many years did he play in the league?
I think T Week got, man, maybe like 12 years. I don't know. He played a minute. Running back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big running back too.
Yeah, I remember he was huge.
Big running back, man, but can run though. He was a state champion in the high hurdles and 100 meters and all that in Michigan, man.
Was he I didn't know he ran track at Michigan too. Was he tall? Was he like 6'2"?
Man, T-Wee about 6'1", 6'2", something like that. Okay. Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, bro, that's all I had, man. I appreciate you carving out the time, man, to give us this game on the podcast.
Man, I hope Coach Prime get all the kids that are 5 stars to go to Jackson State.
Man, wouldn't that be crazy?
And they start hiring other guys, man, to go to, HBCUs and they all, get the 5-star kids, man. These kids, man, they need to make it to where the HBCUs have the large stadiums.
Exactly. I agree.
And that's something, if I can do it all over again, that's something I think I would have done for sure. Or I'd just play basketball instead of football.
man, I was just saying that yesterday, bro. I was saying that I just said the same thing. If I could do it all over again, I would definitely consider HBCU more, because what I've learned, and I've met a lot of guys that played at HBCU because I played arena ball for a couple of years. And what I found is I feel like they have like a closer knit group at HBCUs, and also the alumni at HBCUs. Like, obviously they look like us, they're black, but they like really and truly care about you being successful after you graduate from high school. Like I mean, from college. Like, we both have degrees from Big Ten universities, but there's no like program, or there's no like designated person to help you with the transition, to give you leads for jobs, to, you know what I mean, to say, oh, hey, I know this guy at this company, I'll give him a call, let him know, blah, blah, blah. They do that at HBCUs. They look out for their own. Like, they make sure guys are set up with nice jobs or different opportunities and stuff like that. And I feel like these people at these bigger universities, especially in the Big Ten, they don't do that. I remember hearing about Troy. Troy won the Heisman at Ohio State. Then he tried to go work for the university, and they gave him a job paying him like less than $30,000 a year or something like that. And I just feel like these bigger universities, they use us for our talent, and we win games for them and win millions of dollars for the university, going to these bowl games. But then when we graduate, it's nothing. It's just like it's like no return. There's no return on that investment.
I honestly believe, like, especially when you go back on a campus of a large university like that, when you got a lot of black players coming in, but you got white coaches, and you really ain't got that many black coaches. You need to be able to have some players that can understand where those black players are coming from, where their backgrounds and the way they came out, came up and everything like that.
Right.
So they need to hire guys or have guys around that, what I'm saying, just monitor them, like, man, look, don't get in trouble, do this, do that. Like,
right.
parents, you know what I'm saying? But they
Right.
don't have that, you know what I'm saying? So, and then a lot of times, a lot of kids be scared because a coach may threaten them and say, well, you know, I can ship your ass out of here so
Yeah.
fast and you be the first
Yeah.
thing smoking all that.
And
But
coaches
that's
do
not the
that
way
all
to
the
treat,
time.
yeah, but that's not the way to treat a kid, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because when you was recruiting him, you was treating him like a damn king. And
Exactly.
then get there, you want to treat him like a damn peasant. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
just think that's yes, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So,
definitely BS. And I've literally saw with my own two eyes that happen to guys. Guys get treated like shit, man. Like, you know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
It's crazy.
man. Look, I've seen it numerous times. That's why I'm saying, like, if he can get all the 5-star recruits, man, like Alabama do, and don't have to pay them,
Mm-hmm.
like SMU did Eric Dickerson and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
man. I'm telling them kids, man, from experience, go to that school, man. You're gonna get
Exactly.
taught well. He's gonna have the right people around you. He's gonna have
Exactly.
any Hall of Fame coach you can think of gonna be there. They'll come out, they'll do all that stuff, man. So
Mm-hmm.
and go to that school, man. Go and go to a HBCU and man, make it known. Make it known. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's about it, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man. I couldn't agree with you more. I like you say, I hope he get all the 5-star recruits. I hope they get a bigger stadium, and I hope all the HBCUs get bigger stadiums. I hope their games get played on ESPN more. They get those TV contracts, just all that stuff. Bring more money to the HBCUs because, like you say, man, it's crazy. And what's crazy, what I also notice is like I know a lot of my former white teammates who got like super dope or good jobs like after they graduated from the university, I don't know, man. It seemed like I wouldn't say it's like favoritism or nepotism, but it just I can't pinpoint it, but it's like all the black guys they go back to their city and they struggle to find work, but the white guys it's like I don't know if it's because they families own companies or any of that, but it seems like their transition is always smooth. They always get some kind of dope job, doing something dope, making good money, and I want to see that change for sure.
Man, it would be nice so that to be a good change or whatever. Like they got to set up programs like that for at the universities for the kids, man, especially for the black kids, because it is different when we go back home. You know what I'm saying? Compared to when a white kid go back or whatever. And they ain't talking about like, oh well, this is that with the race thing. But at the end of the day, if we came from an inner city school or whatever school, and we don't have that backing, and our family is not from money,
Exactly.
it's different.
Yeah.
It's different, man.
And
'Cause you get there and you'll be like, I want to get a degree in business, and then they be like, oh well, your grades are not good enough to get in business school. All right,
right.
so what do I have to do? You know what I'm saying? Because
Man,
I
I'm
need
telling you, that actually happened to me. Like because I wanted to major in communications because I wanted to be a sports analyst. So I wanted to major in communications and somehow get into media if football didn't work out. But at Iowa, your cumulative had to be over a 3.0 after your second year. And my my grades were solid. My grades was real good in high school, but they was only decent in college. My cum after my first 2 years, I didn't make it. I had like a 2.9 or like a 2.89 or something like that. So I couldn't get into the communication school, into the media school. So I had to choose, and I chose sports management, and I might have had the sports studies, but ultimately, like you say, like sometimes the majors that you want, like you can't even get into, so you got to choose something else.
right, and that's the crazy part, man. So, I mean, it's part of the game, man. That's
Yeah,
the
it's
way.
part of it.
Um, that's why I believe like what he's doing, what I'm saying, down in Jackson State, and hopefully it's other schools that will hire, Hall of Fame guys that would come back so they can coach there and just make that start the trend to be differently. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
let these top tier schools start getting 2 and 3-star athletes, and let
Mhm.
the HBCUs get the 4 and 5-star,
Right.
and let's change it up, man. Let's make it more equal, because it's a lot of guys that can play ball in HBCUs as well,
Of
man.
course,
So
oh, you know that.
it's just, guys, they see I get to go to this bowl game because it's a Power Five. I get to go do this. You get this bowl. You hear all the good stuff, and then it's like, man, well, should I go there? Should I go here? I'm just blessed, man, to be able to go to a big university, period, man, University of Michigan, and be able to start up something that, has gone on traditionally for a while at our high school, man.
Yes,
So
yes, definitely, man.
it's it's just a blessing, man. And so, you know, you take it, man, with a grain of salt and say, you know what, if as long as our links are good, then we're gonna be good.
Exactly, man. Well, I appreciate you jumping on. I know 2020 has been a super weird year, and I've been trying to pride myself on just all the guys in my circle, friends, mentors, people, influencers, the people that influence me. I try to make sure I give them their flowers, you know, while we all still here, man. So, like I said in this show, man, I've always looked up to you. I've looked up to you since I was 8 years old. Chose my college number because that was your number. I was 99 at the Ville because you was 99. So I've always looked at you as someone you know, that I could like reach out to. I feel like you've always been a great example. Always been super proud to say I know you. To say, man, he did this, he did that. Always brag about you all the time, man. I just want to show you that love and give you that love. You know, while we both still here, man.
Man, I appreciate that, Brian. Man, the same to you too, man. Hey, man,
Yes,
I'm proud of you for what you're doing, your platform, using it, doing, you know, the podcast, man. Keep winning, man. That's what
yes,
I tell folks. Winning,
yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man.
As long as you winning, I'm winning. You know
exactly. Who we all winning.
Yeah, man. We are, man. So
yeah.
love you, little bro.
Oh yeah, appreciate love you too, bro.
Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Take it easy and stay safe out here.
All day, man. God bless, bro.
All right, God bless. Yes, sir.
And 8. Nothing doing. The Irish forced to punt from their own end zone, and North Carolina State has. But not the tight end frequently lines up wide as he does. They toss Hayes, and Hayes is run down by Pierre Woods, the junior linebacker from Cleveland.
For a touchdown in Week 17, final weekend of the regular season against the Patriots. Starting from inside the end zone, crosses the 20 and not much more. Pierre Woods on the stop.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, had a very, very good conversation with big bro Pierre Woods. Played for the Patriots for 5 years, and you know, was all Big Ten 2003 at University of Michigan. Coached by legendary coaches Lloyd Carr and Bill Belichick. Michigan man, just like Tom Brady. So again, thank you guys for listening to episode 21. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you rate if you're listening to this on any podcast platforms, and just be sure to be on the lookout because I will be dropping merch for the podcast soon. So until next time, peace.